Salvation International Preparatory School. Salvation International Preparatory School. A place to be, a school to go. We'll build you up from the cradle to university. Salvation International Preparatory School. Salvation International Preparatory School. A place to be, a school to go. We'll build you up from the cradle to university.
All right, I am Mr. Theophilus Ogene Barugo this morning, and the subject we are treating this morning in an online class is basic technology. Basic technology, and the class is JSS1, that is Junior Secondary School 1. Now, for the fact that we are just entering JSS1, we introduced us in our previous class to technology, what technology is, and the importance of technology. Don't forget, we said is the use of scientific knowledge, the use of what? Scientific knowledge to make life easy for man. To make life easy for man. We listed types of technology. We said we have the developed technology and we have the underdeveloped technology. We talked about the developed technology where we use modern tools for our work, and underdeveloped technology where we use old or crude method for our various activities. For instance, the use of tank criers or the use of letter writing for communication, or the use of human effort for lifting heavy load. Those are old or underdeveloped technology. While developed technology, we have the use of email facilities, or we have the use of telephone for communication. We have the use of cranes for lifting heavy objects. We also have the use of tractors for farming. So you see, technology has come to make life easy for us. And in regard to that, in as much as we have various equipment that will make life easy for man, there are also dangers associated with them. There are also risk factors associated with them. There are some disadvantages or dangerous harm that can be caused to man. And so that's what has led us to this topic this morning: safety guidelines. We're going to be treating it for various aspects, but for this morning, we're going to be talking on safety guidelines on the road. Safety guidelines on the road. Now, what is a road? A road is a path that is established over land for passage of vehicles, for passage of humans, for passage of animals, for passage of anything movable. Anything movable. Now, so road is a path established. Not, you can't just walk through a path that is not established as road. Any path that is not established as road is that you have buildings there or you have bushes there. But so long a path has been established on the land, it is called a road. Now, it provides dependable pathway for moving of people and goods from one place to another. So road helps in the movement from one place to another. We have different types of road this morning. Let's learn them. We have the private drive pathway. Now, these types of roads are owned and maintained by individuals or controlled by an individual agency or organization. Take, for instance, there is a pathway into our school called Salvation International Preparatory School. There is a pathway from the gate. That is a road. And that pathway is maintained by the school, is maintained by the establishment. It is not maintained by the government. That is why we call it a private drive pathway. Number two, two-lane highways. Two-lane highways. Now, these are the usual single carriageways. Traffic on two-lane highways normally flow in opposite direction on a single lane. Now, it is called a two-lane highway because only two cars can move on that path simultaneously. Only two cars can move on that path side by side, and we say it flows in opposite direction. That is, one coming and one going, one facing this way, the other one facing the opposite direction. That type of road is a two-lane highway. It is not a dual carriageway. Take note, a two-lane highway is not a dual carriageway. A dual carriage has multiple lanes that is separated. It has multiple lanes that is separated. Now, the next one is a dual carriageway. This is a road which has multiple lanes, which with traffic going in opposite direction. This may or may not be physically separated by non-passable divider such as concrete barriers. Like we have, for instance, where our school is established is along the airport road axis. Now, if you check the third road, at the center is divided by a what? A non-passage divider where cars cannot pass. A cars on the other side is going one direction, while cars on the other side are going one direction. Now, one side of this dual carriageway is what we call two-lane highway. Now, in some places, we have just one side of it as the main road. So, two vehicles uses it. Now, dual carriageway can either be divided by a concrete passageway or not.
As a parent, I have always asked, how can I prepare my children for the infrastructural development and socio-economic evolution of the next decade? With the ongoing speed of globalization, how can I position my children to perform excellently in a rapidly changing society? The answer is and has always been to give them a solid foundation, academically, spiritually, and morally. Salvation International Preparatory Schools, with her team of highly qualified tutors, conducive environment for learning, state-of-the-art computer and science laboratories coupled with quality day and boarding facilities, is the place to be. For more information, contact 080-233-76135. SIPS remains the birthplace of leaders.
Now, expressway, which is the number four type of road, this is specially designed and restricted highway divided by barriers, which make traffic in opposite direction completely separated from each other. You see it now? Traffic, that is the movement of vehicle in opposite direction, is completely separated by a barrier which cars cannot move on. It simply means vehicles will get to the barrier and can't go further, preventing them from going into the other lane. Now, we have various categories of road users, different type of road users. We have the motorist, we have the pedestrian, we have the cyclist, we have the motorcyclist, we have animals, we have hawkers and traders. Now, motorists are those using vehicles, pedestrians are those using walking with leg, and cyclists are those using either bicycle, anything, bicycle movement on the way. Motorcycle are the one using what we normally call as bike. Animals, animals move on the road. For instance, when our herdsmen are taking their animals, or when you are taking your pet or dog, for instance, along the way, those are animals. They move on the way also. And we have the hawkers or the traders. We have a lot of people that sell along the road. We have people that hawk on the road. We have people that have their businesses along the road. So they use the road also. Now, let's talk about the pedestrians. These various classes of road users, we're going to discuss them separately. But let's talk about the pedestrian, which is the most important to us this morning. The pedestrian. A pedestrian is a person who is walking on the road, especially in an area also used by vehicles. That's when we see pedestrian, people walking with their with their foot, people walking on their foot. It doesn't mean that you don't have a car. Mm-mm. So long you are walking on your foot, you are a pedestrian at that time. Now, safety guidelines. That is why in some road you see we have pedestrian ways or pedestrian walkway. That simply means this is the path created for those walking on their foot to use. So you are not expected to be using where the path we created for cars. So safety guideline for pedestrian. Number one, use the walkways or suitable footpath provided. If there is a walkway provided or a pedestrian path provided, or a footpath provided, ensure you use that path. It is for your own safety. It is for your own security and for your own safety. Don't go and use the path not provided for you as a pedestrian. Number two, walk on the left side of the road facing oncoming traffic, that is, facing oncoming vehicles. Facing oncoming vehicles. Walk on the left side of the road facing oncoming vehicles where footpaths are not provided, especially where footpaths are. For those parts that footpaths are provided, you have been separated from the coming vehicles. Now, for where footpaths are not provided, ensure you are on the left path so you can face the vehicles coming, to see, to watch carefully, not you walk on the right path, you have to be turning back to see if the vehicle is coming close to you. No, you have to walk on the side where you will be seeing oncoming vehicles. Number three, wear bright color or reflective clothing while walking at night so that you can be easily identified or seen either by an oncoming vehicle or someone else. For instance, you are not wearing bright color clothes, someone else is coming, they can just hit you on the way. A vehicle is coming, they can just knock you down on the way. So please wear bright color clothes or reflective clothing while walking on it. For our engineers, our engineers majorly they wear these reflective clothes, so you'll be able to identify them. So number four, when walking in group, keep to the extreme right side of the road. When walking in group, keep to the extreme. Ensure you are at the extreme and you don't walk. When you are more than two, you don't walk side by side. Some should be behind the other to avoid encroaching into the path created for vehicles to pass. Number five, carry flashlight when walking in the dark. Ensure you use your flashlight when walking in the dark so you will not dash your foot against some object, because there are many objects on the way. If you don't take your flashlight while walking in the night, you can hit your leg, or when you hit your leg against some object, you fall down, you trip, and you can get yourself injured. So please take note of that while you are using the road as a pedestrian. Now, that's for pedestrians using the road and walking by the side. There are also safety guidelines for pedestrians trying to cross the road. Pedestrians crossing the road, we have safety guidelines for them also. Number one, before crossing a road, stop. Take note, stop. Always look left, look right, and look left again. Since you are on the left side of the road, it simply means you want to cross from the left. So when you turn facing the road, look at your left where the oncoming vehicles are. When there are no vehicles coming from the left, you turn to your right and look at the other direction if there are vehicles coming from there. And if there are no vehicles coming from the right, you turn again to confirm that, okay, these ones from the left, no one is coming again before you cross the road. That's one of the safety guidelines for pedestrians using or crossing the road. And when the road is clear, you walk directly and quickly across the road. Ensure you are also watching as you cross. Ensure you are also watching as you cross. Number two safety guideline for pedestrians crossing the road is do not run while crossing the road. The reason for this is you might trip and fall. You might trip over and fall. And when you fall, you hurt yourself, or maybe an oncoming vehicle can get to where you are before you cross the road. So do not run. That is why you have to ensure that no vehicles are coming before you cross.
Salvation International Preparatory School. Salvation International Preparatory School. A place